Well, Dixie, it is wonderful to finally meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well.
Excellent.
I'm,
Um,
I'm, I'm so stressed out over this damn thing. I'm going to do a shot of bourbon real fast. Hold on just
oh,
one
you
second.
do it. You do it, man. You enjoy.
Mm, that
That's the good
helps.
stuff.
Yeah, that's
How they
helps.
relax in North Carolina.
Yes, yes, it is.
Mate, so you're at home at the moment in North Carolina?
Yes, yeah. We just got home from a run that we did with High on Fire. We just got home a couple days ago.
Nice. I interviewed Matt and Cody. Was it Cody? Yes.
Yes.
And yeah, just absolutely lovely dudes. I seem to be working my way through the sludge scene lately.
Yeah.
Through no kind of, I've done I Hate God, Goat Whore, like this. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I never thought that would be a thing. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to shut this door. So
Okay.
I have someone mowing my lawn for me because he's a lovely person. Ah, dear. Now, you are coming down here with King Parrot. This is not the first time that you have toured with them. When did you
Yes.
first meet them? Was that through Phil Anselmo?
No. We've known Phil for years. We did a tour with WEEDEATER Melvins and Down years ago, but that's not how I met them. They were booked to be direct support for us in Europe. I can't remember exactly where we met them in Europe. I feel like it was somewhere in France. And then they did the direct support run for us all through Europe. We loved them to death. They're great guys. We got along so well. And then we brought them over to the States to do some shows with us years ago, and then did that again recently. And they were direct support on all of those. And then for our second trip to Australia, it was offered up if we could be with them. And I insisted that, they're the Australian heavyweights. We love them to death. And so we want to be direct support for them in Australia. And it looks like that's what worked out. So we're really, really excited about it and can't wait to do it.
So, North Carolina, what is life like in your hometown right now? Will you be happy to see this election over?
Um, yeah, it's awesome here, but we're just finishing up hurricane season, and we've been fucked pretty good on all of that. This time it was the western part of the state, which we got a little bit of Helene, but where our drummer lives, about 5 hours inland, Asheville got slammed, and so we missed two of the shows on this last tour because um, we couldn't get Ramsey out of Asheville. He was stuck there, surrounded by water. All the roads were washed out. So we missed two shows, and when we could finally get him, we started the tour in Dallas. So we really just missed a headlining show of ours in Nashville and one with High on Fire in Denver. So we just started in Dallas and just finished that up. And then in the middle of that, we had a Tampa show, and Hurricane Milton slammed into Tampa the same night we were supposed to play Tampa. So that show got canceled. So we moved that to Memphis and played a show with High on Fire in Memphis, and then played Atlanta. And then our last show was supposed to be in Asheville, and they still have no water and no power in Asheville. So a bunch of people are doing benefits for Asheville and benefit shows and all kinds of stuff. But hopefully they'll get their shit back together soon. But it's still fucked in the western part of the state, pretty bad.
Do you have a kind of survival kit for dealing with hurricanes?
Oh yeah, yeah. I have tons of backup phone charger, situations, and everybody that lives here has a generator. I mean, because we're hit every year. So I have a generator that will run minimal things in my house, like TV, so we can keep watching the news and see what's going on, and run all the phone chargers and keep the fridge running. And that's about it. But and maybe one fan because it's usually hot here in the hurricane season. So
So, mate, you when I was learning about you, I found out that you have nine toes, not by your own choosing.
that is
Um,
cool.
what was the recovery like for that?
It was pretty shitty. Yeah, I had to. I was, you know, I was laid up for a minute, but then we had a tour booked, so we went to do that, and I was on a cane for that. And we went to South by Southwest during that, and it's just packed down there, and everybody's stepping on my fucking foot. And but the worst part of that is the doctor told me that I needed to soak my foot in a mixture of water and some shit, peroxide, and like twice a day. And I told him that I was, a touring musician, and that was going to be hard for me to do. And the doctor was quite a smart ass. He said, well, don't worry about it. Just do what you can. And when you get back, I'll tell you how much of your leg we have to cut off. So I said, oh, twice a day? And you sure you don't want me to do it 3 times a day? So I carried around a little Tupperware, a little Rubbermaid container that I could soak my foot in. And I just did it in the van twice a day. And it worked out. I healed up and everything. And now I have a tattoo on my foot that says, gone to market, love Piggy. So
did it let, because I imagine the big toe, it was your big toe, wasn't it?
That's correct, the captain.
That would fuck up your balance a fair bit. Hey, did you kind of have to relearn how to balance?
A little bit. I grew up skateboarding and surfing, and where I live in North Carolina is on the beach. So I grew up here. It's more akin to Southern California than it is like the mountains of North Carolina. So I grew up with skateboarding and surfing and doing backflips and shit. So I have pretty good balance. It did affect my gait. I walk differently now, and I didn't really realize that until about a year later. The doctor told me I would have problems with my other leg, and about a year later, my other leg started fucking with me, and now it just goes back and forth. But I didn't even realize I was walking differently, and everybody else was telling me I was, but I didn't realize I was. But my balance is still pretty good. I can still skateboard. I can still surf. So,
did you learn an important lesson about checking the chamber before cleaning a shotgun?
Yes, I actually took the world's fastest gun safety course. Yeah, it only took one millisecond. I get it now. Well, I never keep my shotgun loaded, and I had loaded it on New Year's Eve with one shell to shoot into the air, and I ended up passing out, and the gun sat in the corner with one shell in it until January 9th, and that's when I picked it up to clean it off and was spraying it down with some Remington oil and rubbing it with a rag and brushed the trigger, and it was sitting right on my foot, which is actually lucky. Had it been backed up even a couple of inches, it would have blown half my foot off because of the spread of the shotgun shell, of the pellets in the shell. So luckily, since it was sitting on my toe, it just went straight through and blew my toe off instead of half my foot or all of my foot.
I read that in the sentence, obviously, when I was reading about it, was that you were cleaning your favorite shotgun. I wonder, is it still your favorite shotgun after it takes your toe off?
Well, I think it is, but only because I think that was, somebody did an interview with me and they kind of embellished that for effect. It is my favorite shotgun because it is my only shotgun. I do still own it. It's not the shotgun's fault. I didn't banish it or throw it away. It's still here.
Oh, bless. Mate, you worked with Steve Albini in the past. Albini? I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to pronounce it. Albini. Now, obviously he passed away recently. What was he like? What are your memories of him?
Oh, he's just an awesome guy, man. We did the last 3 records with him. We did God Luck and Good Speed, Jason the Dragon, and Goliath, and all 3 at EA in Chicago with Steve. And he's awesome, man. He's just very matter of fact. He doesn't ever, like, you ask him if he likes something and he'll say, everything is in tune and I don't hear any mishits on the drums. And I'm like, yeah, okay, Steve, but do you like it? Everything is in tune and I don't hear any miscues on the drums. Yeah, but do you like it? And so he's just very matter of fact, but he's hilarious and he's great at what he does. But we've been fortunate enough to work with the best in the world at recording analog. And it's him and Billy Anderson are the best in the world at it. So, and Billy, well, we started recording with Steve just because Billy was out of the country for a while at the time and we couldn't record with him. So we started going to EA, and it's just a very comfortable studio. You live on site for while you're there for a week or so. And he was an awesome dude. And we had time booked in December to record a new record with him, and now we don't know what the fuck we're going to do, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen in December. Now we're going to do this tour with King Parrot and just try and figure it out from there. We'll do it as soon as we possibly can, as soon as I can find out if Billy can do it or who can do it. And then we had a tour manager, John Hopkins, that he passed away about a year and a half ago. And he was an excellent front of house guy. He did front of house and tour manage for us. And he's also a great great producer and engineer. And he would be an option, but he's also dead. So, I mean, it's been hell, and it sucks that Albini's gone. And like I said, Albini was great to work with. He just never, said one time he was listening to something. We're listening back at stuff, and he said, sounds like pussy. And that was about the best I got out of him from not just saying everything's in tune. There are no drum cues out of place other than that, but he's incredible at what he does, or it was.
So what were the if I was to ask you what were the albums that had a really profound effect on your life, what would you say they were?
When I was a kid, I listened to a lot of punk rock and hardcore. Like, I was a big fan of Black Flag, all those records. It just all of that as I was a kid. And then I got into metal as well. And we're a bit of a crossover from that, I guess, between the two. And then I also listened to a bunch of outlaw and classic country growing up because of my father. And so all those records are very important to me. But Melvin's Stoner Witch is a big one. I listened to a lot of Iron Maiden when I first started playing the bass guitar. I was getting into metal, and I learned just about every Steve Harris bass riff there is, sitting in my bedroom at 16 years old. So, but it's kind of just a mix of all that stuff is what we are pretty much. That's where our influences come from.
Now, I'm about to expose myself as the absolute poser because I realize I've never actually said this band name out loud. So you can correct me if you want. Buzzoven? Buzzoven?
Yes. I was in Buzzoven. Me and Ramsey were both in Buzzoven for years. Yeah. And the last time that Kirk decided to go out and do some shows, we were in on that as well. Yep. He's a good buddy of ours.
I'd heard that the band's live shows were quite something back in the day. What were they like?
Oh, just bananas. The entire Welcome to Violence thing was Kirk's thing, and it would get completely out of hand. There'd be blood flying all over the place, and bottles breaking, and shit getting destroyed, kegs thrown through windows, and clubs destroyed, hotels destroyed. Well, I guess that's not the live show, but the live show was not fake. Put it that way. Extremely dangerous.
It's funny, isn't it, that the things that obviously people get, the crazy stuff that people get up to when they're young, and you can see almost, obviously as people grow up and they get mature or whatever. I noticed when I was taking photos of I Hate God. And just the history that I was seeing on the singer's face, knowing all the things that he'd gone through with, having to detox from heroin or from methadone in prison during Hurricane Katrina, just all this kind of crazy stuff. Like, do you look back on your early life and wonder how you survived?
I do. I think of that often, all the crazy shit that we've been through. I definitely do. Hopefully it's divine providence. I don't know. But yeah, we've been through a bunch of shit. We still are pretty fucking crazy, but try our best to use all of our past experiences to our benefit. And well, we still really don't avoid certain things. We probably should, but it's been wild. Yes.
How close calls are we talking, like, with fate going through your life? Like, did you come out of any situations in your musical career where you were like, shit, it's lucky we survived that?
There are several Buzzoven shows and several WEEDEATER shows that I'm surprised that we survived. And several accidents, the shotgun incident. I've been doing flips off of houses since I was a little kid, and I've about killed myself that way. And, I used to do flips off of 2-story houses for a cigarette. And, uh, yeah, it's pretty wild. A lot of our just tour schedule is grueling enough that could kill a regular person. Some of the drives are crazy. We've driven from San Francisco to Portland, Oregon with no breaks, and that's 11, 12 hours over Grants Pass, one of the steepest passes in in the Cascades. And yeah, I don't know how we've made it through half of the shit we made it through, to be honest with you.
How does one conclude a road journey when you don't have brakes?
Well, we were leaving Billy Anderson's house on Pierce Street in San Francisco, and it's a famous hilly street. We got to the bottom and shot right across the cross street with a stop sign. Luckily, nobody was coming. And then we realized we had no brakes. And so we didn't really know what to do, but it was late at night. So in our infinite wisdom, we decided that, well, there's way less traffic right now. Maybe we should do it when there's no traffic. So we drove overnight with no brakes over Grants Pass. Finally realized that we were going to be arriving in Portland at rush hour, like 9 in the morning. And so we decided to pull over in Eugene. And I called a buddy of mine, Mike Scheit from Yob. And this was years ago. And he set us up with a mechanic that could fix our brakes. And he blew through a couple stop signs and eased into his parking lot and stopped. And I told the guy we had no brakes. He said, "Where'd you come from?" I said, "San Francisco." He just started laughing. He said, "There's no way you have no brakes. You couldn't have made it over Grants Pass." So I said, "Well, we don't have any brakes, I'm telling you." So he jumped in the van and went to pull it into his bay to work on it and ran into all of his tools because he got out and said, you have absolutely no brakes. I said, "I just fucking told you that." He said, don't ever go over Grants Pass with no brakes again. I said, "Well, it's not like I fucking wanted to, I don't know." We had to make the next show. So, yeah, he was amazed when he couldn't stop the van that we had come, 500 miles through the mountains with no brakes. But we did.
My God. As someone who has played as many shows as you have, what are some of the strangest things you've seen happen in mosh pits while you've been playing?
I've seen people having sex in mosh pits before, or getting blowjobs or whatever. There used to be he's still there, I think, Chicken Man that comes out and raises hell and thrashes like a madman in Philadelphia at the Kung Fu Necktie and several other venues. Chicken Man used to always show up. He's in a full chicken suit. I've seen people with snakes, rats on them, people walking around with scorpions, people shooting guns off in the pit and stuff. I've seen pretty weird shit.
What typically happens after someone fires a gun in a mosh pit? Like, does everyone scatter?
Yeah, everyone scatters. He shot through the ceiling, but he was removed from the venue and arrested. And then the show goes on generally after something like that. But it is strange.
Only
It is
in
very
America.
yeah, that's a fact.
Oh, Dixie, this has been awesome, man. I am, of all the shows, I have been just incredibly fortunate this year. I got to see Pantera, Fear Factory, all of these bands that I grew up listening to. This year has been relentless, but when the lineup dropped for this, because King Parrot are my favorite Australian band by a country mile, as you can probably tell. And this is one of like 4 King Parrot shirts I own. Yeah, when I saw the lineup drop, and you've got you guys, ASTRODEATH, CHOOF, like this gig is going to be insane, and it's going to be in Brisbane on my birthday. So I cannot wait.
Wow, I can't wait to wish you a happy birthday in person. That's great.
Excellent.
Get your tickets at kingparrot.oztix.com.au. Get them now.
Get it?
Hey, you stole that one from Slats.
Yeah, we'll just put a filter on you so it's more slats like, because God bless him, he's been going absolutely ham with the Snapchat filters lately. It's been amazing.
Yeah, I sent a bunch of them. Youngie asked me to do one for each show, and I think I'm already gotten through more than half of them. But I'm just so inept at sending files to people. We had our merch guy on this last run knew how to do it, and I was like, "Your job tonight is to send all of these to Matt. I can't fucking do it." And sent a bunch of them. So hopefully Matt's gonna. I saw Matt put one out, so hopefully he'll continue to trickle those out as we try and record the rest of them and try and get them to him. We're just completely inept at digital stuff. Analog only.
Nah, fair. All right, mate. I'll see you in Brisbane. Thank you so much for your time. And look at you,
man.
you did Zoom.
I know. And look, we'll see you right here.
Hey, look at that.
Yep.
Oh,
we'll see you there.
Nice.
Well, I didn't exactly at Brisbane. I just pointed at the continent of Australia.
Yeah, I was like, it's off by a few thousand, but yeah, I get you. I get you.
Yeah,
there we go. There we go.
There we go. That's got to be better.
That's it.
Somewhere. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, man, and awesome. And I'll see you on your birthday.
You will. Have a good one, mate.
Okay, Bye. Take care. Bye.